Good evening. Oh, I probably look like absolute shit tonight. I've not been well today, guys. Nothing serious, nothing to worry about, just part of being a woman. But I didn't want to let you down tonight, so I wanted to make sure I was here. I'm going to talk to you while James is out getting me some comfort food because he's such a good hubby. So I'm going to chat to you while he's out doing that. I was like, James, go and get me a guilty pleasure Mackie D's. And you know, ladies who can relate, as you're getting logged in, give me some hearts if you can relate, when it's that time and all you want is the wrong stuff and all you want is comfort and all you want is like your PJs and junk food and good TV, and it is that day for me right now. Hence the spots and the no makeup and the hair in a bun and all that jazz. Who have I got logged in? I'm just going to share this while you guys are getting logged in. Let me know who's there. Say hi, let me know you're logging in live by giving me a hashtag live, or if you're watching on replay even, give me a hashtag replay so I know who's listening. I can't see anyone yet, that's weird. I think there's a little bit of a delay on my end. Who's there? Just sharing this out, guys, as I'm talking to you and waiting for people to come on. Please do the same. I'm going to be talking tonight about attracting your dream client, not your ideal client, your dream client. And I'm going to share my secret weapon when it comes to doing this online. So this is for you if you have an online business, and it doesn't necessarily mean that your service or product is delivered online, but you do the majority of your marketing online, so it's like a location independent business. And if you're in the process of mastering your marketing and getting your ideal client coming to you, this is for you. So who's there? Let me know you're there by giving me a live if you're live, replay if you're watching on replay. I can see there's people there listening in, but I can't see who. So let me know so I can say hi to you. So it's a really simple formula that I'm going to share with you tonight, and this is going to help you to attract your dream client more effortlessly to you. And when I say to you, it's because nowhere in any of my coaching programs, courses, mentorship, or even free stuff like this that I do I ever talk about outreach. So, like messaging people first, or, reaching out to people and saying, I think you'd be a fit for this, or I think I've got something for you, or any of that shit. Because the simple method that I'm going to share with you is based around one thing, and that is, don't do anything online as a business owner or as a human being that you wouldn't do in real life. And that is the simplicity right there. Because if you do something online that you wouldn't do in real life, then you're damaging relationships, because people are still people. Whether we're communicating with them online or whether we're communicating with them in real life, you want to be treated in the same way. Think about how we want to be treated. So don't ever talk about or teach outreach, because for me that's the same as, let's say you're a salon owner. That would be the same as going out onto the street as a salon owner and stopping people outside the salon and saying, oh, your hair could do with jazzing up a little bit, I can help you with that. Or, oh, girl, your nails look shit, I can sort that out. You would just never do that. You would make your salon the place to be. You would make it attractive, and you would wait for people to walk through the door asking you about your service and how you can help them. And the online world is no different. And when we get it twisted and we get our results twisted, and that's what I'm going to share with you tonight, is based around that principle, doing nothing online that we would do offline. So I want you to imagine for a moment that you have just walked into an arena full of hundreds of thousands of people, millions if you like. And that's a metaphor for you launching your business into the online space. You've just walked into an arena full of people, all different types of people, and a percentage of them are your ideal client. And you don't know who they are, and they don't know who you are. So to attract this dream client to you, you've got to get noticed by them, but you've also got to get noticed multiple times so that they can feel comfortable enough and know enough about you and what you offer to come over to you and say, so can you tell me a little bit more, or how do I work with you? And that's how you attract your dream client to you online as well. So if you imagine you're in this arena right now, because you guys are logged into this tonight, and I don't know who's there because I for some reason can't see comments, but I can see there's quite a few people logged in. But I'd love you to comment and tell me, and everybody else on this platform within this arena that you have tonight, what do you do? Who do you help? Who is your dream client? Who is it that your work is there to serve? Who is your life's work for? Comment in the chat box and tell me, because this is your platform within this arena right now to do that, and you don't know who's going to watch this and who's going to see your comment and go, oh. In the arena, it's about sharing as much as you can and in an appropriate way, not just being inappropriate in terms of, now if you imagine you just walked into this arena, you don't know anybody, you know there's a percentage of people that do know you. Now I use a formula called Tom for this to get noticed online. I'm not going to talk about Tom tonight because you can go and find the Tom formula at iloveleadgen.com. So if you go to iloveleadgen.com, there's a free webinar on there that talks you through the Tom formula in a lot of detail, and this basically tells you how to speak your ideal client's language, how to get noticed in a really simple way by getting really clear on your title, offer, mission, Tom, and how to do that in a way that makes your ideal client look at you and go, oh, that's what I need right now, that's who I need right now, that's what I'm looking for, it feels like this is for me, it feels like this is going to provide me with the solution to a problem that I might be having, because every business just provides a solution to a problem. The way we articulate that will depend on whether our dream client shows up for us. So if you're in this arena in real life, and we're going to use that as a metaphor of the internet, and you constantly refer back to this arena, just think about some of the things that really aren't appropriate. So you could start walking up to people saying, excuse me, do you happen to have this problem? Do you identify with this? Oh, you seem like this kind of person, maybe you'd benefit from this. Can you imagine just walking up to complete strangers in this arena and starting conversations like that? You would be very quickly alienated. You'd very quickly find it difficult to build rapport and relationships with people. It wouldn't be appropriate, it'd be weird. And that's the equivalent of like sending spammy inbox messages. We've all had them, haven't we? Give me some hearts if you had inbox messages from people and thought, that's a bit bizarre. And you can kind of see through it a little bit. They've maybe friend requested you and then gone, oh, just want to network with people. Or they've gone straight in and said, join my group or like my page. Or it always feels a little bit inappropriate, doesn't it? And it doesn't inspire you and fill you with motivation to go ahead and take the action that they're asking you to take. It feels appropriate. So the same is true in this arena. What you also wouldn't do is just like go and stand and just hang around next to someone and go, hey, just thought I'd come and network with you, like-minded people, you look like my kind of person. How's it going? Because that'd be weird, wouldn't it? People would think, what the fuck? Like, when was the last time that ever happened to you out and about on the street or in a cafe? Or when did someone just come and plonk themselves next to you and go, hey? When did someone knock your door and go, just thought it'd be nice to, network, you look like my kind of person, just thought I'd hang around here for a while, is that all right? Like, it just doesn't happen, does it? And that's the equivalent of doing that online. So if we treat it exactly the same as being in real life, because I know the internet's not real life and it can be a bloody weird and sometimes horrible place, but our business is a real life business, and if we're operating a business online and you're a CEO running an online business, dealing with people, which I'm guessing you are if you're in business, providing a solution to someone's problem with your product or service, we've got to treat it exactly the same as you would a traditional business. And this is why I think the online business world's gone mad, because people don't. It's like all logic goes out the window and we start doing crazy shit that we would never really do in real life. And all you've really got to do to have the edge in attracting your ideal client is not get crazy and treat it exactly the same, with the same logic, the same common sense as you would offline. One of the things I'm going to share with you today is standing out where you stick out the most is going to be easier for you. Making a difference where you stand out the most is easier online than blending in. So one of the things that everybody knows you have to do to network online is you've got to build relationships. You've got to get in and amongst communities of people where your ideal client might be hanging out, and then you in those communities get noticed by hanging out, being your cool self, being a contributor, using these platforms within these arenas to get noticed, and Facebook groups are a great place to do that. But what most people will do is they'll go and find the Facebook groups that they blend in the most, not where they stand out the most. For example, if you're a spiritual coach, the obvious thing to do would be to go and add yourself to spiritual groups. But then everybody else is talking about similar stuff to you. The amount of times people say to me, oh, it feels like everybody's doing something similar to me, suddenly feels like it's such a competitive market. Like, oh, I've seen about 5 people talking about the same sort of stuff that I talk about, over the last couple of days. It's probably because you're hanging out where you blend in the most and trying to stand out where you really are not, well, you're going to have a hard time doing it, So if you're a spiritual coach and you imagine yourself to 3-5 spiritual groups and thinking this is gonna be my community, these are my people, this is where I'm gonna, stick my fork in the ground and start to push out valuable, great content, get noticed and get my ideal client coming to me. I don't know if that's going to be the best place for you to do that. Like, if your ideal client, let's say for example, you're a spiritual coach, your ideal client is a woman that wants to enhance her spirituality to have better relationships. Where else do women hang out that might want a better relationship or better relationships in their life, whether it be with a partner or whatever it is you specialise in? They don't have to be in spiritual groups. If you teach connecting with your soul to find your soulmate, soul partner, for example, if you're sat in a spiritual group with lots of other people talking about soul connection and alignment and all these other things that you know to be true, then you blend it in. But if, let's say, you thought, okay, well, where else are women hanging out? Well, what about just really normal, non-spiritual groups where my ideal client's hanging out that's totally different to what other people might think about? So maybe you want your ideal client to be somebody that's really ambitious. So maybe if you were into like a way more masculine group, and when I say masculine, I don't mean for men, but people that are less in their feminine energy, like you might be as a spiritual coach, and you decided to go for like powerful, driven, CEO, like rah, 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 let's do business, masculine energy, process-driven groups, where your ideal client's hanging out and spoke about the same stuff you were speaking about over here, it's now suddenly radically different to everything else that's in this group. It stands out like a sore thumb because nobody else is talking about this stuff in there. You get noticed easily in a group like that. It's like the person that works with mums in business, joining mums in business groups and talking about the same stuff that everybody else is talking about in those groups. It's like the male business coach that works with other coaches going straight into groups that are dominated by male coaches and talking the same language as everybody else in the group, and suddenly you're just like everybody else, blended in, competing, fighting for attention. Whereas your ideal client is hanging out in other places where you can get in amongst them and not blend in so much. It's really interesting. I was talking to a lady about this stuff the other day, a couple of weeks ago, a client of mine, and she said to me, oh, you know, she works with people that are newly separated and divorced, and she's been going into communities that are specifically set up for divorcees, newly separated people that are getting back on their feet. And while sharing her area of expertise, and she's got so much knowledge and wisdom to share, you know, everyone's talking about the same subjects. So again, it kind of got lost a little bit. And we talked about it, and I said, tell me more about your ideal client. Like, who is she other than someone that's separated and divorced? What else is really important for you in this dream client? And she said, well, you know, she's a positive person. The more she talked about her, the more we realised this is a successful woman that had and has a really great career and a lot of success in her life. And just because her relationships broke down, there's a lot of other stuff that's going right, going well. She could be a teacher, she could be a doctor, she could be so many things other than just a divorcee and someone that's separated. So when she started thinking about, well, actually, I could go into groups that are specifically for doctors, teachers, where women, professional women are hanging out, and ratios tell you that a small percentage of them are going to have gone through or be going through or about to go through some sort of separation or divorce, and will need some support with that and will really value my content. And in those groups, nobody else is talking about that stuff, but we can make it relevant. If we're going to be in a group full of medics, let's speak their language, let's make it relevant. You know, as somebody with a high-powered job, when a relationship breaks down and you've got to stay focused on the job and be dealing with that at home, these can be the challenges, and these are the things you can do to I can do to help you with them. You know, make your content relevant. It's not about just copy and pasting content in lots of different groups. It's about thinking, this is the audience, this is my community today. How can I serve this community, and how can I impart knowledge, wisdom that just makes their life better today, that makes their problem easier to deal with today. And it doesn't have to be in the obvious places. In fact, the most obvious places are normally the places that you're going to blend in the most. So some key things, and this is a really quick video for me today because it really is this simple. Some key things to think about when you're doing this is, the first thing, you've got to be so ridiculously clear about who this client is. Not just the problem they have, but who they are. Because then you can start thinking, well, who are they outside of the problem, and where else might they be hanging out? You know, I was working with a lady the other day that specifically works with women that have children with difficulties like autism, Asperger's syndrome, etc. But she didn't just want to be in groups. When she started thinking about this, that they are more than that. They're more than just a woman with a child that has difficult needs. They're this person, this person, this person. They have a career, they have this. And suddenly she's branching out and finding these women in other areas that she didn't think of before, because she got so clear about who she is. It's not just the problem that she's facing, it's who really is this person in every area of their life. Step into their shoes, embody them, brainstorm them, think about all the different sides to this individual, because it's your dream client, not your ideal client. Ideal client's a little bit blur when we talk about that, because we start digging into the problem they're facing and how we can help them. But what about the dream client? You know, who is she, he? Get really, really clear on that. Then you need to get really clear on the language that you need to speak for them to notice you, because every person is different when it comes to what they respond to, depending on personality type, depending on needs, depending on the type of problem they're looking for help with, and all of that will depend on your message and how that needs to be articulated. So knowing how to develop your TOM, title, offer, mission, that speaks to them powerfully, means that when you are showing up online in multiple different ways with a really strong marketing message, You're constantly reinforcing in their language why you're the best person to help them. And as I said previously, to watch my free webinar on Tom and how to get really clear and specific about this and have a message that really stands out, you can go onto iloveleadgen.com and watch that webinar completely free. That's iloveleadgen.com, short for iloveleadgeneration.com. And you can watch that webinar for free. When you got really, really clear about that, you then start getting clear about where might this person be hanging out, and not the most obvious places. Not just jumping straight to, well, they're a mom with this type of problem, therefore I'm going to go straight in moms groups that cater for this problem. Who else are they, and where can I make a big difference and stand out with my message, and how then will I adapt my content and my message to suit this group of people, so that it's not just about copying and pasting the same message, but so that it's structured. You know, if I'm going to go into a group, I'm more, I would say, although I like to think that part of the reason that I've been able to experience so much business and financial success is because I've drawn two really clear energies, masculine and feminine, the spiritual side and the no bullshit processes. And somewhere in the middle, I believe, is the zone of genius and the zone of excellence. And that's the reason for Soul-Centered Millionaire TV. You know, the equal things are important, but I do more lean into, I guess, my masculine when it comes to business. Not so much in other areas of my life, but when it comes to business, I'm very process driven. I'm very straight shooting, no bullshit. It's not for everybody. So where I can stick out the most is in overly feminine areas with some quite out there, in your face messages. But ones that provide value for people that need some of that masculinity to get a real difference in their business. So I might be hanging out, for example, in a really feminine kind of spiritual group, sharing more no bullshit, straight shooting approaches to business styles, knowing that not everybody in there is a business owner, but the percentage that are probably going to need that, because that's probably the thing they struggle with the most, especially spiritual businesses. So if I'm in this group providing value, sharing content that will make a difference for them, and off the back of that be getting noticed by people within that group, people that resonate with me, people that have the problem that I help provide the solution to, women that are in business that want to up level or start from scratch. As I'm doing that, you know, I'm applying it to this woman directly, and then I'm also applying my other content elsewhere, not just in that group that I'm networking in. Because people don't just view you in that environment, they will then begin to consume you in other places. That's where people will start going onto your personal profile and having a look at what you've said on there as well. If you've piqued their interest, in that moment when their interest's peaked, they're not going to wait 3 days and remember your name and then come back and start researching you. It's there and then they're going to do it. They're going to see your work and go, oh, that's interesting. I kind of like that concept. I kind of like her. I don't like what she's got to say. Let's see what else she's got. Well, I've got 10 minutes on my hands. They're going to go onto your personal profile. They're going to see in a snapshot your mission, who you are, your title, your cover picture. Everything needs to look and represent your brand in the best possible way. And then they're going to start looking down your content on your wall. What have you said that's relevant for her? Because if you know you're going to be fishing in those ponds, then all your content needs to relate, because it can't be a jarring experience for someone, because they're then probably going to go and view you in other ways that they want to kind of check you out. It might be Instagram, it might be, so everything needs to align. So if I've been hanging out in that pond, for example, this week, I might do a video that talks about why spiritual businesses sometimes struggle. And that's going to pique this lady's interest, isn't it? Because she's just been found in a spiritual group. I've stood out with my message because it's a bit different to everybody else's in there. She's come across to my personal profile and it says, no bullshit, 7-figure success coach to female entrepreneurs. And she's like, okay, I'm a female entrepreneur. I could probably do with my more no bullshit in my life right now because I'm probably more in my feminine. Start looking down, oh, she's got a video there on why spiritual businesses most of the time fail. I need to watch that, that's for me. So now she's watching the video and I'm talking to them about their place of pain, why they in particular might struggle with processes and policies, because they actually more like to take inspired divine action that, you know, that feels good when it feels good, when it doesn't they don't. actually a business needs habitual disciplines and practices, and that, you know, without them you'll only get so far. And now she's resonating, and I'm building a relationship without talking to her, attracting in that dream client. So anyone can do this with any brand and any business. And all you need to do is go back through the steps and get really clear. First of all, who is this dream client? Not just their place of pain, not just their problem. Yes, that's important, but who are they? How can you show up in a way that speaks their language and gets you noticed as soon as they see you? That's your Tom, iloveleadgen.com to watch the webinar on that. Then where, you know, brainstorm what groups might she be hanging out in where I can stand out with my message, and then how can I make my content relevant, not just in that community, but then when she starts or he starts stalking me on all platforms, so I can start building that relationship from afar. And if you do this consistently over and over and over and over again, you will build constant momentum in your dream clients coming to you and reaching out and saying, can you tell me more? Because they're building a relationship without you needing to speak to them. It's totally organic and it's totally free. It doesn't cost anything to do this other than a little bit of courage to get really, really visible. And that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. So thank you so much for listening. Haven't been able to see any comments tonight for some reason. I've literally been completely blind. Can't even see how many people are logged in. So I'm guessing there's some technical glitch, but I didn't want to stop. So please tell me if you're here. Comment if you've got questions in the chat box. Would love you to share, as I mentioned before, what do you do? Who is the person that you help? Because if they're listening tonight, this is your platform to get their attention. Speak to you soon. Have a wonderful day, evening.